Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to the channel Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much. We are doing the forecast for June 22nd, Monday. It's not necessarily set for only that day. If you're seeing this on a day that's not June 22nd, that's completely okay. It may be a day that you're needing to hear this message. So you don't have to turn it off. But for those of you that regularly watch, this is the message for that day. Ways that you can support the channel if you feel so inclined. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified when I go live. If you're interested in booking a private reading, you can reach me at my Facebook business page. Message me there and I can answer any questions you may have. Alright, so let's be all business today and get into Monday the 22nd's energy and see what's going on. Okay, our friend the Fool is back. Optimism and freedom. Interesting. So we have that Two of Rings or that Two of Pentacles energy underneath this, right, at the beginning of the week, which should run for like Sunday, Monday, maybe even Tuesday for some of you. I mean, that's, you know, if you're on this trajectory, you might be experiencing this, you may not. But like for those of you that are or want insight into what energies are available to you, this Fool card says to me, because it is major arcana, that there's opportunities here. There is definitely new beginnings about to come about. That's what the Fool represents, is this idea of a new path, a new journey, a new beginning. There is a certain amount, in my interpretation of the Fool and how I see the Fool, is there's this idea of sort of, and especially with this card, because she has this like cloth over her face, which is not necessarily how the Fool is depicted in my in traditional tarot, but to me it sort of feels like we need to have a certain amount of faith, a certain amount of belief in oneself or the situation at hand, maybe our guides, our God, whatever it is that is our sort of spiritual connection within. We need to trust that and sort of move forward and begin to start to sort of make sense of whatever it is we're wanting to create, whatever it is we're dealing with, whatever stands in our way, that sort of thing. And some of us may not be completely clear on what stands in our way, right? I feel like that's this darkened mountain range in the background, right? Is it maybe like issues, struggles, challenges might be coming into view for us. We may not clearly see them, but I don't necessarily think that we want to allow those things to sort of dictate whether or not we move forward or not. That to me would be foolish in the bad sense of the word, right? The Fool always has this sort of negative, like this balance of positive and negative to me, as far as being open enough to be willing to take the risk, yet not being so naive that you are acting from a place of foolishness or inexperience that causes you or others harm, right? I don't get that sense with this card today. To me, this feels like obviously that message of new beginnings, but it also feels like this idea of being brave, trusting oneself, moving forward no matter what, working our way through sort of the questions in our head to something better. This building in the background speaks to this time that we've left, right? This time where things were more stable, where things were maybe a little bit more formulaic or planned out. Predictable is a good word. And we haven't necessarily, I feel like maybe we've even traversed some mountains or some challenges in the process. This could be like things like COVID or the shifting of the world and what's going on in the world and how it's changing for us, and not really being able to see sort of what's next around the corner for us. But I do think that Two of Pentacles energy underneath speaks to that idea of balance. And it's funny that she holds something in each of her hands, which reminds me of the Two of Pentacles in a traditional tarot meaning, where you have that man juggling those two pentacles and it creates that infinity symbol, right? So here we have the energy of the Fool, which is this optimism, this idea of freedom, this idea of the Fool is also the element of air, right? Which is this associated with the symbol of Aquarius, which is kind of open-minded thinking, expansive thought, really not limiting oneself, right? Traditional society may say, oh no, that's foolish, you can't think that way, but I believe that this card is sort of challenging us to open ourselves up, even if we don't necessarily know how we're going to go about getting there. That's sort of these like waist high clouds that she's sort of working her way through or moving her way through. It's sort of this unknown. We're not necessarily sure where our footsteps are going to land, but we have to sort of continue to keep landing them to move forward, right? And as we trust that, I think that each step has like a more powerful impact than we realize, right? And that's that sort of, it will hopefully bring about balance. I also love that this is, associated with the sign of Aquarius and that air element energy, which is that midweek card, which was that Ace of Swords, right? So to me, the Fool is powerful, right? Because it's major arcana, but she's not quite adept yet, or it's the beginning of the journey, right? So it's about sort of starting to touch base with that sort of air mental element energy and putting it to good use, opening up our mind, releasing sort of the negativity, releasing the naysayers that are in our mind, or the thoughts that say, no, you can't do that. And trusting that maybe what we feel inside, or what we feel sort of, intuitively or instinctually ready to do, we're just going to have to do, even if we feel like we're sort of blinded by that, or not necessarily aware of, it's almost like we have to do to learn, is kind of what I feel like this card is telling me this morning. Is that before maybe we sort of had this sort of Parthenon or whatever this building is here, to me it feels like in the past we've maybe been felt a little bit more secure in how we sort of looked outward for our answers and received them, and now it's not that way. We have to sort of maybe act first and I don't want to say deal with the ramifications, but sort of deal with, because ramifications sort of sounds negative. It's not that I don't get any negativity from this card. I feel like this card is about having faith in ourselves, faith in our spirit, faith in our spirit guides, faith in our God, whatever that may be, that we need to sort of bridge that level of trust. This Fool represents that, right? This Fool represents that sort of new beginning. And this, also indicates back to that Two of Pentacles, that deepening of that relationship that I was talking about, right? This relationship could be to ourselves, or this could be to our guides or our God, but whatever that is, we're trying to sort of manifest it or cultivate it and bring it down into the physical world, into the world we live in right now, which is sort of, I feel like in some ways with this sheet over her face, it's sort of, a lot is up for grabs right now in this physical world. A lot is changing for each and every one of us. And so we may not feel as though we always clearly have the answer of what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. But the Two of Pentacles underneath this, and the exuberance and the optimism of this Fool, with this focus on the excitement of the new beginning and the trust in oneself, leads us towards getting to that Ace of Swords, which is that inspired thinking by the midweek. So for those of you that might feel a little trapped, a little stuck right now, and I only say that because of this sheet that's over this Fool's head, makes me feel like maybe some of you might feel like, no, I can't move, I don't know what to do. You're going to know, but you have to almost like trust that first before you're going to be allowed to move. Does that make sense? And whatever that move is for you in your life, you need to apply it wherever. If it's work-related, love-related, health-related. This is about trusting yourself and, you know, moving forward, maybe even in a little bit of fear, but ultimately with that Two of Pentacles underneath, I feel like there's a balance or a trust that's taking place that will be powerful, that will produce a like an opportunity for, you know, incredible growth. All right, so let's see. This is the Starseed Oracle, The Weight of the World. Boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. So we've read this card a couple of times this month. Again, this is about that idea of being free of sort of what's going on in the world. She's floating. She's being carried. I feel like with this Fool card, there's a little bit of that energy also with this cloth draped over her face, is this idea of not necessarily knowing and just trusting, right? And this is trusting within ourselves even, or our higher self, having that conversation with who are we? What have we, you know, maybe been through? What is the culmination of our life experiences, right? Where is it that we doubt ourselves? Or that's sort of like the feeling that I get from these two cards. It's like, let go of that self-doubt and just trust. Allow yourself to sort of be carried, be guided. And this could be not necessarily by any outside source, right? This could be guided by your own higher self. Connecting to that and letting go of sort of everything else that's going on around you. This feels very much like what's the word I want to use? Like almost like a very like personal individual experience today. This energy, like these two cards together feel like there's a magnitude and a power in these two cards, but these cards are asking you to kind of be reflective, rely upon yourself, let go of everything that's going on around you, stop looking to the outside world to give you cues, and find your cues from within. Trust that the cues or the instincts, the intuitions are valid, capable, appropriate, and allow them to sort of move you forward at a pace that feels, I don't feel like these cards feel rushed to me at all. These cards feel like, what is that card that we had, like, I want to say yesterday Sunday, but last Sunday was baby steps. Like, to me, this feels like if some of you need to move slow, go right ahead. There's a definite ease to these two cards. This card especially gives me that sense of ease, of just relaxing back and being carried, being healed, being floated, right? Let's see what the Drowning King says. Oh, it's back again. So we had this grounding stone last week. It's nature. Just looking at this, I sort of feel like connecting. I mean, of course this is nature, right? So it's always beneficial to go out and be a part of nature. I believe that spirit and God, or our higher power, whatever you refer to it, the universe, is definitely apparent, and the beauty of that, the power and the magnitude of that is found very easily within nature, right? I also believe that when we connect to nature, we also connect to sort of this deeper sense of self, right? This deeper awareness of being part of a much bigger, I don't know if intricate is the right word, but like a much bigger sort of working sort of structure that is found within nature. And so I think that we can find spirit within there. We can find our own spirit within there. We can also find our true nature within our spirit, right? So there might be a lot of things that we're acting from or doing right now that maybe not part of our true nature, because we're acting from a place of being too sort of physically focused or mentally focused or aware of what's going on around us. These two cards to me feel like they're asking you to release that. To release that, to let those things go, any frustrations, anxieties, worries, bring the focus back internally to you. And if you can do that through connecting and getting quiet, going out into nature to find your own connection to what your true nature is, then do that. Remember that underpinning stone from yesterday is that idea of giving, right? So this is something where we give to ourselves on this day. Where we first give to ourselves before we can give to another, right? But we're doing this in an attempt to sort of give to ourselves and to find out kind of who we are, what we're about, what we want to create, how we'll go about it and navigate that in the changing world that we're in right now. I do believe that we're okay, right? I don't feel any sort of negativity. I feel a lot of introspection with these cards today. I feel a lot of like sort of internal reflection. And it does feel like a slowed down pace to me. So even though usually Monday's the day where we hit the ground running and get back to work and start being crazy, if you can find opportunities where you can sort of connect to nature around you and to your own internalized sort of intuitive voice, I would definitely do that. The power of the Fool is here. The new beginning of the Fool is here. The opportunities are here. All right, that is your forecast for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it made sense. Please apply it where you need to in your life. And please tune in tomorrow to see where these cards and energies build for this week for all of us. I look forward to seeing you guys then. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting the channel. Please give me a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you choose to. And that way you're notified when I go live. And that's it. All right, you guys have a great day. I love you all. Bye-bye.